Yeah, it's that red wave.
Florian.
Works in Frimpong. Touchdown to Merseyside.
Hey.
Let's go. Slide through the pitch like a phantom glide.
Florian.
Remember 10 Vision got the pram on fire. Said 9 to buy, and yeah, they look so sure. But I'm clocking silver dreams at that Anfield door. They thought I rocked the white and red of South, but I'm scoozing up slide, drew the lines in chalk. Midfield poet, let the movement talk. I write my name where the legends walk. From Leverkusen lights to them top night roars. Me and Frimpong breaking through them doors. They ain't see it coming, now they wish they could. We red now, baby,
Florian.
Feels neighborhood.
Oi, get the checkbook out this summer. Hey, Florian. Oh, art thou Florian? I believe you're looking for a new football club, my mate. Hey, England, Manchester, Etihad, this Stad will be playing Champions League football next year, my friend. Yeah, how about you take a little 2-2 Ryanair jet from Leverkusen over to Manchester. We'll get you a nice hotel stay. Little 2-2 medical, £300,000 a week. Couple bonuses thrown in there. 2-2 Ballon d'Or in a couple years. Champions League. Happy days. You want to go Bayern Munich. Little 2032 Bayern Munich driller. Happy days. We get the next up and coming star. Hey, how about it, Florian? Florian. How art thou, Florian?
Till this day, I genuinely cannot believe he offered Florian Wirtz a Ryanair flight. Like, that is just so... How are you giving a £120 million signing a charter flight when your owners are Manchester City owners? It just makes no sense. Anyway, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Let me just put myself in the middle. Welcome back to the channel. Make sure guys are liking the video. Make sure guys are subscribing to the channel if you're yet to do so. Every single one of you guys right here, right now, please hit the like button, subscribe. We've got a massive show today, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to talk about Benjamin Sesko to the Arsenal as per Fabrizio Romano. So it's not Hussam being a hater. It's not me making stuff up. It's not me, just creating stuff out of nowhere. This is the reality of the situation, guys. We also have got the here we go for Delap to Chelsea. So the here we go officially dropped, I believe, today. I think like 4 or 5 hours ago. So that's something that obviously we are going to be talking about today. Ahmed was meant to join us today, but I don't know if he can make it. So we are going to be talking about, maybe a couple of other clubs, stuff like that. But our main focus today is going to be Chelsea. It is going to be Arsenal, and it's going to be Liverpool. You know what this is called? AKA the relevant clubs. That is what we're going to be discussing today, because no one cares about Man United. Never forget the day. Never ever forget the day that Manchester United drove a bus through Kuala Lumpur with no one giving a flying fuck. That tells you all you need to know. These guys drove through Kuala Lumpur with no one in the street. It was just a guy in a City shirt following them going like, oh yeah, they're here. Hey. No one cares. No one cares. They're trying to take over the Southeast Asian market from Liverpool. I promise you, everyone that attended that game came home and became a Liverpool fan straight away. Everyone just Googled, who are Man United's biggest rival? Liverpool. I'm a Liverpool fan. That's literally what happened. Anyway, we get accused on this channel for inviting negative Arsenal fans, and we never invite the positive ones. And I'm such an evil, bad guy, so I've invited 2 positive Arsenal fans on today's stream. First and foremost, you get me. Joining me is Australian Touch from Canada. You get me. Pro Arsenal, pro Arteta. We'll see if he's pro Sesko. How you doing, Martin, mate?
Great. With an intro like that, how could I go wrong? I'm pretty positive. I'm a glass half full kind of guy, but you don't need to paint me as some Arteta only lover. That's for sure. I'm definitely Arsenal first.
I didn't say that, you fraud. Big up to you. Hope you're good.
Yeah, man. I'm good.
I appreciate that. Big up to you, Martin. Joining us next on the channel, you guys have seen all the amazing videos. You get me that this guy have created, like the Callum trial video, which is still up there on YouTube right now as one of the greatest moments. You get me, the Tom criminal list. But today he's here to represent Chelsea Football Club because Delap is a blue, ladies and gentlemen, from the mean streets of New York City, but he does not support the Knicks, apparently. You get me? Glory Hunter. How you doing, Roberto? You good, brother?
There you go. Nah, big up. Listen, thank you for having me on. It's been a great week to be a Chelsea fan. I can't lie, man. It's been a great week. You know, all the dominoes are falling. Happy to be here. Happy to talk about it, man.
Big up to you. Big up to you, Roberto. Speaking of Chelsea, you get me? 1 + 1 = 2. 2 strikers now is what Chelsea are looking at. So we brought in 2 Chelsea fans. You get me? He is known on Al Ahwa as Abdulaziz, and he is known on the non-Al Ahwa shows as Andrew. How you doing, Andrew, mate?
I'm all good. I'm all good.
Big up, Abdul.
Big up.
Big up, Abdul, man.
Yeah, big up. You blew, big up. Yeah, I'm like 2 personas. You know what I mean? If you're an Abdulaziz fan, I'm sorry for this stream. He's not going to be here, man. This is just Andrew. So I apologize about that. If you're here for Abdulaziz, I'm very sorry about that. But
God. I still remember your first appearance on Ahwa. I was doing the intro and I was like, oh, joining us is Abdulaziz. And then he pulled up, you know. We have to give everyone an Arab name now. That's why I gave Jacob. You get me. Speaking of, I should have mentioned $1 million. Like, why do you hop on? Like, every time I say your name, you just spawn. It just makes no sense, Jacob. But make sure you're amortizing your comment and not celebrating. Big up to you, Jacob. And of course, joining us, another positive Arsenal fan, because we get accused of not inviting positive people. You get me? Of course, he has a touch of shamelessness about him. You guys have seen him on the channel before. Man like Solz is in the building. How are you doing, Solz?
Chat to me.
You are on mute. You are on mute. Yes, now you've unmuted.
Can you guys hear me? Nice to be back. Nice to be back. Nice to be back. Thanks for the invite on the channel. In a positive mood today. We're in. I wake up every morning thankful that we're not in the Europa League Conference League. Thank God.
Big up to you. Big up to you, Solz.
Thank God above me.
Already taking a shot. We haven't even started yet. Anyway, listen, big up everyone locked in. There is 700 people in the building already. Let's get the likes up early. You guys know how these shows go. We're here to have a good conversation. We're here to actually talk about like all the transfer news and stuff and kind of just touch on all the clubs. So let's just get everyone, please hit the like button right now. 700 people in here. We should be on 250, 300 likes already. So just close your live chat, like the video, and continue to enjoy the show. We are going to be starting though with this topic that kind of has happened literally just about where we go live. So let me just share the news first with the audience, and then we're going to get every single one of the guys on the panel's thoughts. So first and foremost, of course, we're going to have to start with the Benjamin Sesko news. So this is what was reported first and foremost by Fabrizio Romano. So understand Arsenal have started moving initial concrete talks for Benjamin Sesko deal. He's always been high in the recruitment team management, Mikel Arteta's lists, with attempts to get the deal done rejected by Leipzig in May 2024 and January. Now Sesko will leave. Arsenal are on it. And according to Eduardo, I don't know if it's Han or Hagen or whatever, but obviously reporting the stuff that we all know. If Arsenal end up signing Benjamin Sesko, it will be because Mikel Arteta got his way on the center forward decision. So, obviously, that's the topic that we've decided to start with today. So, Martin, I'm going to go to you first. Talk to me about Sesko to Arsenal.
Well, I mean, we've been listening to a lot of rumors over the last few weeks, and we were getting closer to Gyokeres, and everyone was kind of going that way. Even Fabrizio's tweet doesn't really fill me with a lot of confidence. The way he's like getting closer to concrete talks doesn't really say that much. But if we do end up going with Sesko, I won't be too displeased. Look, I don't care as long as we get either of those guys. I think we just need to get someone in pretty quickly. I'm tired of talking about strikers for Arsenal. I feel like ever since that all or nothing show, everyone's fully invested in Arsenal's striker situation since the Aubameyang drama. So yeah, I'll be glad if we don't have to keep talking about getting an actual finisher in the team. As far as his profile is concerned, I think I got clowned on your show a couple of years ago for saying I wanted Sesko. And fairly consistently since then, you've clowned me for even wanting the guy. But, you know, he comes in and out of flavor. I don't think he scored enough goals last season for anyone to be that impressed. But for me, the profile matters more than what he did last season. And as much as I like Gyokeres, I saw a comp of him in his last 30 header attempts, and it made me terrified. So I feel like Sesko is probably our best option in the market that we can get. That's not Isak. But yeah, I'm pretty happy about the call.
Go ahead, Solz.
Yeah, look, I think I'm fuming, man. I'm fuming because I just don't understand the point of having a sporting director if you're going to allow the manager to pick the targets anyway. What's the point of hiring Andrea Berta, and who we know has Gyokeres high on his target list, for then him to come in, speak to Mikel Arteta, and he goes, "No, I want Sesko," and he goes, "Oh, fine, then we'll just go with what you want. Then what's the point?" Like I'm not. Look, as you guys know, everyone knows my opinion on the manager and what I think we should do, and I think he should be given one more year and everything. But I don't think. Look, the manager's job's on the line. Everybody knows that Arteta has to win next year. This has been coming out via pundits, via fans. Even the Arteta inners want him to win next year. It's all or nothing now. So now it's got to a point where I think Chelsea and Tottenham winning a trophy has actually put more pressure on Arsenal now. Because it's like, cool, your rivals have won a trophy. You guys haven't. You've been doing this for the last 5 years. Yes, you've made progress. You've regressed this season. You have to win next year. So let's go with the narrative that everyone agrees with, that Arsenal have to win next year. When you have to win next year, the project does not mean as much as someone coming in as a proven goal scorer. If Sesko's main quality is heading ability and Gyokeres' heading ability isn't that great, then if we're relying on headers to win games next season, we're messed up anyway. So ultimately, we have to win now. And if you have to win now, you have to look at experienced players with a good goal-scoring record who are going to score goals. Gyokeres, in my opinion, every department barring heading ability and maybe slightly pace, which I think Gyokeres is still probably faster, Gyokeres beats him at. And that's not even taking into account goal-scoring record. So I don't understand if Arteta wants to... I don't understand the conversations between the ownership and the board and Arteta. Maybe they're saying to him, you're going to get another 3-4 years at this club. I want you to keep building a big team. If that's the case, it's a completely different conversation. Then the owners have to be getting...
Don't you think it's worth trying to buy someone as a win now for the long term of the club? Shouldn't you just be trying to build the squad based on harmony? As well, like, I don't understand why a sporting director should be expected to come in and say, hey, I don't care what the manager wants. I'm going to sign this guy and this guy and this guy, and nothing will work. Then does the blame go to the sporting director, or does the blame go to the manager who didn't get the players he wanted?
Well, I think when you have a track history of signing players that have not made sense in the offensive position, you at some point the trust has to be removed from you and given to someone else who can maybe give the recruits a chance. Because Arteta's striking options and his decisions in offensive players, I don't know if it's all on him, but our track record of Sterling, our track record of Havertz, our track record of Trossard haven't come in and set the world on fire. They haven't come in and done what we needed them to do, which is win us these trophies. So when you bring a manager in whose track record isn't the best in recruitment, you can't keep giving him his option, because ultimately he's going to live and die by a sword. So if he says to Berta and the board today, I want Sesko, and we don't win next year, we're not going to hear the project argument. He's going to die by his signings, just like Ten Hag did when he said, I want these players, sign them, and then he left the next year by Christmas. So it makes no sense. It makes no sense. And I
just want to comment on the sporting director point, and then we'll get to RSM and Andrew's thoughts as well. Look, here's the thing. I understand where Andrew's gone now. I mean, sorry, Martin's gone now. Martin's back now. So Martin is back. Hi, Martin. It's fine. So here's the thing with this whole conversation. Look, I understand Martin's logic and I understand Solz's logic, but I'm completely on Solz's side. I'm all for club PR. I believe that every single club on this panel and in the Premier League have PR. I believe that every single one of us like to do pro-club stuff, like, oh, look at us, we're smart and intelligent. Here's the thing. Over the last 6 months, the shift in the Arsenal fan base, the blame shifted from Arteta to Kroenkes and Edu. Edu is now gone. The Kroenkes remain. Obviously, you're not going to get the owners out now, considering that they do spend money and stuff. So it's not like they're that bad at this moment in time specifically. So now that Edu is out and Berta is in, there is a genuine objective. And listen, we can sit up here, we can banter, but I'm actually being dead serious right now. There is no point of hiring a sporting director and then getting the player that you wanted anyway. The reason why I think that's nonsensical is, okay, so you wanted Sesko in January. You wanted them last May. You go buy Sesko with a new sporting director. So this shows that maybe the direction isn't as much as we're thinking in terms of Andrea Berta. Because now I'm immediately, the first response is, I'm questioning what is Berta's role at this football club. I'm directly thinking, okay, so you brought in Berta, he's a sporting director, he's a new guy, he's meant to bring in his own players. There's an example that changed Liverpool history forever, and I will use it again for the people that don't know, so they can know this example. Jurgen Klopp wanted Julian Brandt and Mario Götze. Michael Edwards said no, and we got Salah and Mane, and the rest is history. Not every manager has the best talent ID. Jurgen Klopp is a manager I have defended on this platform. You guys have all watched me and worked with me as I've defended him. Jurgen Klopp has shit talent ID because Jurgen Klopp signed Darwin Núñez. He's the one that came forward and said, I'm going to sign Darwin Núñez. And guess what? He died by that signing because for the next 2 years, we did not win the league. And he was one of the major causes why we did not win the league. People keep talking about energy and banter and shit like this. My club was linked to Sesko a week ago, and I lost my shit. I said, I do not want Benjamin Sesko. I believe that there is a Bundesliga tax and a Portuguese league tax and stuff like I believe in them because goal scoring is different like from that league to the Premier League. However, if someone's goal scoring record is like so good, you've got to take a risk. You know, when it's like a Marmoush 15 and 17, Haaland 24 and 26, like when the goals are unbelievable, you've got to take a risk. Benjamin Sesko got 13 goals in 33 games. Playing for RB Leipzig, not a shit team. Like he has a team that's a Champions League club, that's a club that's like in and around there. So 13 goals in 33 games, even if he gets better, let's say he scores an extra goal in the Premier League, 2 extra goals. If he scores 15 goals, is that good enough for Arsenal to win the league? Is that good enough for them to take that next step? And that's just what I question in this.
Look,
this
I just need a guy that's going to put his foot through the ball when there's a good chance. And we've seen this with Havertz. He's got that limp-wristed finishing ability. I can't watch that anymore, right? But he can fight for the position with Sesko or whatever. Like,
that's a disaster. That's a disaster. If Havertz is fighting anybody for a position next season, with the clubs around us that are strengthening, we have no chance of winning the league.
You're not.
We might as well sack it off.
You're not benching.
Well, you guys can make bold predictions about next season. If you want to get into
he needs to be benched, mate. He needs to be benched.
No,
he needs to be benched.
You're paying this guy 280 grand a week. You're not benching him.
That's fine. Then he can find a new position for him. But a striker, it's been proven that it doesn't work.
But I just see. Two things. You said Arteta's under pressure from you fans, maybe, but not from the board. He's not under pressure from the board. If you finish in top 4 again, Champions League, you'll be fine again. The pressure on the board comes from the fans. The pressure is from you fans, no problem. But from the board, they're happy to be in Champions League. They were under Wenger. And I've always thought throughout the season, Sam, I think I mentioned this twice, that I thought they were always going to go for Sesko. Even from last year, they presented we did as well, but they presented like the project to him. And I think they had an agreement with Leipzig, like 1 more year. Stay 1 more year and we'll sign you. And I think it's always been Sesko. I think Gyokeres has been a smokescreen, and I think it's always been Sesko because Arteta wants him. For some reason.
But isn't it possible that Berta came in and said, "Okay, my job now is to look at every striking option objectively"?
But I think
we talk to 15 different strikers and then come to the same decision.
But I think they give Arteta so much power that he still has a veto.
I can't be.
I
agree with that. I agree with that. He was sitting with the owners against Southampton. He was sitting in the stands with the owners.
I'm thinking Arteta goes, you can do. I think Arteta might go, I'm fine with whatever other deals you do, but Sesko is the one I'm not moving on. I think it's something
he probably
like
just got given Sterling and doesn't want to get given another thing which he doesn't agree with, right?
Well, so maybe, but I just think Sesko's always been the plan from Arsenal, not Gyokeres, no one else. It's always been Sesko from last year.
It's not.
Always.
But listen, even if that,
I just don't know how much it improves you, whether it gets you over the line or not. It's just
impossible.
No, let me tell you something. When we look at the numbers that people like Timo Werner and Kai Havertz are putting in that league, and I look at what Sesko's putting up in that league, I don't understand what you see in him that thinks that he would be a person to get you across on. I really don't. And for me, every single report has said that Sesko is Arteta's guy. That's it. And that Berto was the one that was maybe putting up a bit of the smoke screen and pushing for Gyokeres. And even before Berto was put in position, I think one of the first reports that came out is that Arteta would have a say in who comes in as sporting director. Once I saw the report, I knew it didn't matter, that essentially the sporting director would just be a glorified scout, because Arteta would still have the ultimate big boy decision in who he wanted in the team. So for me, this is great. I don't think this improves Arsenal enough. I don't.
No, it doesn't. And we already know, based on what we've seen, Arteta's got too much power. It's not even something that we've had to even debate. Because even against Southampton, you can see him in the crowd sitting with the owners, having a laugh and a joke and a giggle. There's obviously a good relationship there, right? And I can understand from the owner's point of view why as well, because Arteta is this guy that's come in. He's obviously, we was in the dumps, finishing outside the top 4, not getting that UCL money. He's taken us to a consistent top 4 team. He's making the owners money, regardless of what the fans want. The fans have high expectations for the club, but the owners are thinking of it as a business. And as a business project, Arteta is doing quite well. He's gotten back in the UCL. He's getting the 70, 100 million a season from the UCL qualification. So he's doing quite well. The problem now becomes, and I say this to all of the fans that Arteta are out. I've said this to Ashraf, and I've had countless arguments with a lot of people, right? If you guys are going to say that Arteta has too much power and Arteta has too much control and Arteta is signing the wrong players, and I agree with you, Roberto, Arteta, I don't know what he sees in Sesko, just like I didn't know what he saw in Havertz when he signed him. But the issue becomes now, the only person that can get Arteta out of that problem are the people that pay his salary and employ him. And unfortunately, the people that employ him and pay his salary are not seeing the same things that the Arsenal fans are seeing. So then the problem needs to be diverted away from that and to the owners. And I get what you're saying about the owners ultimately have been doing this for a long time and Arteta's team for a long time. But the pressure mounts on the manager when the pressure mounts on the owners. And we've seen it happen with Man United. We've seen it happen with many different ownerships. Once you start putting pressure on the ownership, trust me, Kroenke's son is going to start seeing, because he does come to games and he'll start seeing that, cool, now it's a big divide. And I'm telling you, now it's still split. There's a lot of Arteta supporters. If Arteta does not win next year, it will go from maybe 50-50 to 80-20. And then the pressure starts to mount because everyone's Arteta out. And then it becomes a hounding job where everyone's saying it. And then it's going to come down to what it comes down to. But look, ultimately, I agree with Hussam. If he wants to sign Sesko, let him sign Sesko, but he's going to die by signing. And trust me, with Wirtz and TK and Frimpong, Gyokeres, and see how Liverpool are strengthening. You see around Liam Delap now has gone. I would genuinely rather have Liam Delap. And you guys are gonna laugh at me, but as a profile of a striker, as a profile of a striker,
I'm not convinced anyone's watched Ipswich play any games at all this year.
I have. I've watched Ipswich play. I've watched a lot of Ipswich games. Liam Delap's a prolific striker.
But you know what it is, by the way. But do you know what it is? It's also that's being lost in this conversation is how much Sesko is going to cost, right? Like when he said, I'd rather Liam Delap for 30 M's. If you make a mistake on Liam Delap, it does not derail the project. It does not derail the transfer window. You can sell him back. You can sell him back to Everton. But when you get Sesko, I'm telling you right now, Sesko is a lateral move. It's a sideways move to Havertz. It's not going to get you where you need to go. It's not taking you to the promised land. And it's making sure that you are stuck down to that player, because that's 100 M's pretty much that they're almost asking for. You guys are going to be stuck, and he is going to die by the signing. He's 100% correct. This signing is going to end it.
I genuinely think if we sign Sesko,
you guys have maybe a 1 to 2 year more window of this project before people starting to leave. And this year was truly the breaking point, because it's whatever when it's City winning all the trophies. You know, it happens to everybody, right? But once this season, every single other team picks up a trophy and Arsenal doesn't, I agree with them. The fan base is last season, is next season, and that's it.
To be honest, I don't think it's because of the trophies, but yeah, I think there's pressure because we need to win the big trophies. If we win an FA Cup next season or a League Cup, obviously we can't win the Conference or the Europa League because we're not shit enough to be in those competitions. But for the other hold on. I'm just saying we can't be in those competitions to even compete.
No, you couldn't win them anyway. So you don't.
No, but we're not in them. So in any way, doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you're in the UCL and you haven't won that either. So like I said, you don't have to worry about that. Worry about the league.
But I'd rather compete for the best than be shit enough to compete for a different one.
Let me just grab these two super chats and we'll carry on for the stream. Big up to Pacharo, who says, are Chelsea finally looking like champions now?
No.
My brother, you need to calm down a little bit. I wouldn't go that far. You get me? Looking like champions. Control yourself, Habibi.
It is a question.
But you're moving forward in the project thing. And we do have a Chelsea section literally in a bit, but I'm just trying to get through this.
He did frame it as a question, not a statement.
Yes. Cunha and possibly Mateta. We cooking next season.
Shiver my timbers! Shut up, man!
We are all, I would like to speak on the behalf of Chelsea, Arsenal, and Liverpool fans and City fans. We are all extremely intimidated by Man United. I am shitting it right now.
Yeah.
You have signed Cunha and Mateta. Ooh.
Shout out Stephen A. Smith.
I think Cunha is a good player.
Title card
Listen,
coming next
Shout
year.
out Stephen A. Smith. I'm here to tell you, we don't care.
Yeah,
Yeah,
listen.
we don't
No,
care,
no,
bro.
no.
We are all. I am gonna make a video tonight titled "United are scary" because they're signing Cunha and Mateta. My brother, your club just lost to the Asian All Stars. I am not gonna sit up here and even attempt to claim that anything you're doing is good this moment in time until we see it with our very own eyes.
Sign all those
You are
in system. Yeah, you
No,
haven't
but
got
Man
wing
United
backs.
fans can't talk. I don't care. Spurs fans can talk, not for Man United
Yeah.
fans. It's
Yeah.
over.
But-
That club
but-
is
but-
in the dump. Now, here's the thing. Back to Arsenal. Big up to you, Pacharo. Big up to you, Kenneth. Anyway, you get me. And I appreciate everyone locked in. Guys, we're not on 200 likes yet. We got 1,000 people in here. Let's get the likes up. Everyone, please hit the like button. It helps the channel out. It helps the channel grow. And thank you guys for 52.2K as well. We keep growing with the support of you guys. So everyone, please hit the like button and subscribe right now. So, I've sat back and listened to everything that you guys have said. And I do think that Sesko is like essentially Havertz Pro Max or another version of Darwin Núñez. And this is something that I said when he was linked to my own club. I do not want this guy at my club. Thank God Arsenal are signing him. Like there's literally there's evidence on my channel in a short. Just go watch it. It's like 3 shorts down or 2 shorts down. Go watch it. I said, listen, this is Darwin Núñez light. I don't think he is going to improve Liverpool Football Club. I don't think he's going to take us to the next level. And that's with us having Salah, with us having Wirtz, with us having all these players. I still don't want him because I don't think he's clinical enough. And I think Solz brought up a good point. I don't think Arsenal could go into next season relying on headers. Now, transition, obviously, he's very
That's not
quick.
all he does. I just said that Gyokeres can't head the ball, which is it's a big red flag for a team which has
Yeah,
a lot
but
of
Haaland
set-pieces
can't head the
to
ball, and he's scored like 3
Haaland can head
that's
the ball
embarrassing.
better than Gyökeres.
But that's
The-
embarrassing.
I wanna
If
see
Arsenal-
I
what
think
that
Haaland's heading ability is a weakness. I'll
He
be
can put
honest.
his foot above his head anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, to be fair, he does
Another
karate
dynamic
kick
kicks it in.
ball when it's
I
like
know, but
that.
saying that Arsenal rely on corners.
But I want to ask Martin a question quickly. Like this is a genuine question. Back to
Yeah.
the Berta thing. Do you think this now shows that Arteta does have too much power at Arsenal Football Club? Objectively.
I think there's a few things going on here, right? When a sporting director comes in, you've already got deals lined up like Zubamendi or whatever. I can understand him not trying to like destroy that and try and rubber stamp his name on everything and say, okay, you guys did this before I got here. I'm not going to throw that out. I don't know with the Sesko strike situation whether it's already been decided before Berta really got a chance to put his name in the hat as far as who he wanted. But I think from a standpoint of if people want Arteta out, this is a good thing because if he's getting his guy, there's going to be no excuses for him at the end of the season if he doesn't win. If he's getting a whole bunch of players that Berta wants, that's going to throw the cat amongst the pigeons as far as the players are concerned, Arteta's going to have more excuses. So I think this is definitely the right option, is to give the manager the player that he wants to play with for the season. Maybe we don't play the transitional football that Gyokeres thrives on. I don't want to get too deep into the tactics of it all, but I just want a striker that can finish the ball. I'm happy with either of them, but I don't want to lose my crap if we don't get the one that I specifically wanted. Like if we didn't get Sesko, I'd be happy with Gyokeres too. I'd find a way to make it work.
And you made a good point there. We need someone who can finish the ball, and judging by his goal scoring record, he has improved that in any season that he's been at Leipzig. So already that's the problem. But anyway, I agree with you in a sense of Arteta should be given his man, because ultimately we don't want excuses next season saying I didn't get the player.
But why do you agree with that? I don't get it.
You know, I agree with that because
when you say he's gonna die, you believe Solz's belief is he's gonna die by that on that hill because you don't want him personally as a fan. You don't want him.
No.
So if you think that he's gonna die on that hill, why do you want your club to get him anyway?
No, I don't want us to get him. That's the thing. But I'm saying ultimately, if Arteta is gonna get him, he needs to know that it's not gonna win him the trophy. Which then links to Roberto's point. Or I think it was Roberto or someone else, that maybe even if we don't win a major honor next season, and by major honor I mean Prem or champs, then I don't think that loses him his job anyway. because as I said, the targets might be different. But listen, Sesko's the wrong player. He's the wrong type of striker we need. He hasn't got the goal scoring record. He's a long-term project. I think he's almost 30-40% more expensive than Gyokeres. I cannot understand for the life of me what Arteta sees in Gyokeres that he doesn't see. So in Sesko that he doesn't see in Gyokeres. It makes no sense to me. Arteta likes to bring in these players that everyone doubts and wants to turn them into a project, but the project doesn't work. We've seen it. We've seen it with multiple players that he's brought in. Do you know what I mean?
It's worked to a certain extent to get us to where we are, right? Like he's given us this expectations that we should be winning the league, and he's built that team from the defense forward. Maybe a bit too much focus on the goalkeeper, but that's just what we seem to do. But now that he's getting his striker, there's nowhere to hide, right? Like if you give him his striker, he's had everything. I mean, Jesus he brought in was great until he got injured. They haven't spent any money on the attack since then. Havertz is like a hybrid midfield attacker, so this is his missing piece. And if he wants to go out with Sesko as his man, I would just listen to the manager, because if you're not working with him, you're working against him at this point. And if that stops us from winning because we're too busy trying to get the players we want, then that's even more frustrating.
I'll support him anyway, but as I said, it's for me, it's Arteta came out against Southampton and he said in the press conference before the Southampton game, word for word, he said, Arsenal next season have to win. And everyone's given us this expectation that we have to win a league or a Champions League. That shows that we built a good enough team that now people expect us to win a Prem or a Champs, which means that it shows our progress from where we came from when we had a team that was barely qualifying for top 4, which he's correct on, right? But now it becomes, even he knows himself, Arteta knows himself that he needs to win next year. So Arteta, I know in his head, believes Sesko can win us a major honour next season. Which, if he believes that, I agree with you. Then let him take the striker. But I'm completely against Sesko as a signing.
Your name cannot be Logical 7 and make a comment completely illogical, because it's the other way around. Gyokeres scored a goal in the Portuguese league 2 weeks ago. Yeah. I think Sesko and Nunes and these players would pull a hamstring attempting. Yes. Gyokeres is not a bulldozer. Gyokeres is actually a fundamentally sound footballer. Sesko is not, which is why I didn't want him at my own football club. Yeah. Big LZ says, have any of you actually done your due diligence? Sesko is a beast in the box. Help with low block. LB, I think you mean Leipzig. Offer zero service to space monster Hussam received kept. Well, I always do my research whenever we link to any player. There's absolutely nothing that excites me about Benjamin Sesko, because I've seen the same exact movie before. Benjamin Sesko is purely pace and power, but at the same time not a good enough goal scorer. If Benjamin Sesko scored 30 goals in 33 games, I'd be like, you know what? Despite the fact he's fundamentally not sound, I think it's a risk worth taking. But I'm sorry, when you've got 13 goals and 33 appearances, I can't sit up here and go like, oh yeah, well done, Arsenal are scary, I'm scared now. Like, if Arsenal had Gyokeres, like at the start of the window, right? We were hearing links to Gyokeres, Rodrygo. If you signed Gyokeres and you signed Rodrygo, or you signed actual difference makers, because guess what? The Portuguese league is even shitter than the German league. We can all admit that. But guess what? Gyokeres has 97 goals and 100 appearances. So his goal scoring record is so good that I would be tempted to take a risk, and I would want to take a risk. And also, once again, let's talk about the fundamentals, because Big LZ, I made this calculation last time, and I can show it to you right now if you don't believe me. In 25, 26, 27 Premier League games, Arsenal are going to be facing a low block. How does a transition striker help you in a low block? If Newcastle signed Sesko, it makes sense. You want to know why? Because Newcastle park the bus, and then they put Sesko halfway line.
Is a transition striker, not.
But Arsenal don't do that. Arsenal are playing against low blocks. Fulham, you want me to do this with you again? Let me just do this quickly, because people sometimes we misrepresent what truly is happening against Arsenal. So you've got the 3 promoted teams, home and away, low blocks. That's 6 games already. Spurs will play a low block at the Emirates. That's 7 games. Wolves home and away, low block, 9 games.
And who do you think's
West
better?
Ham home and away. Everton home and away. Crystal Palace home and away. Fulham home and away. Brentford home and away. Forest home and away. All of those are low blocks. How does Sesko unlock that low block right there?
Because he can actually get on the end of things. Like, do you think Gyokeres is less of a transitional striker than Sesko?
Yes, because I've seen Gyokeres score in tight
scores all
space.
his goals on the run from like halfway.
No, that is a false narrative. I have seen Gyokeres score goals in tight spaces with his weak foot, with his right
in
foot.
tight spaces, but there's only a couple of
past
people in the
players
box.
and everything.
It's not 10 players in the box. Like he's not up against low blocks like that.
Do you know that Gyokeres is also cheaper than Sesko? You know how mad that is.
Look, I don't believe the prices. Look, there'll be a price for a release clause, and then there'll be an extra amount you have to pay if you want to pay it over 5 years. And I think probably that's what we're doing. It'll be more money for. I don't think Gyokeres is going to go for 60 million euros or whatever it is. By the way, so I think that there'll be extras on all of them.
Oh yeah, I think the 90 is the high end into like the maximum you'll spend. I think it's going to be like a 75 million with add-ons, something like that. He should be under pressure from the fans, especially next season. Arteta, there's going to be no acclimatizing for Sesko because of the price. So there's going to be no time given.
There's no time.
Yeah. No time, especially Arsenal needing to win. There's nothing there. So unfortunately, that's what's going to happen. I always think this, Sam. I know it's probably a bit like fun rudiment. You know, it's like you shouldn't think like this, but I always think like when it comes to Germany, why don't I ever hear Sesko linked to Bayern Munich or something? I never hear him like linked to.
They've got Kane now, so.
PSG or
to be honest, he has been linked to a few Premier League teams. Though I'll be honest, he has been linked to.
I just think
you know the name Martin just mentioned. If I'm Arsenal, I pull the biggest like big dick energy move and I go sign Harry Kane.
Yes.
He lifted his curse now. Proven Premier League goal scorer.
Never sign Harry Kane. Never.
I hated Harry Kane.
I'd rather sign Sesko's little brother. I would never sign Harry Kane.
You literally signed Sol Campbell, who's Spurs captain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The amount of heartache this guy's given us, Sam. The amount of the bad memories. The guy scored a worldie against Arsenal with a mask on. Never forget that. He scored a worldie against Arsenal.
Yeah, and now he'll score worldies for Arsenal.
It won't come. I mean, that's the issue, right? Everyone thinks we should get Isak, but we're not going to get Isak off Newcastle, right? So
yeah, not that.
I don't care who the decision is anymore. It's taken so long. It's been 3 seasons since we had a striker or more. Just get some decision done and stick with it, and go into the new season ready, not still faffing about. Because Chelsea's just sitting there going, "We're just going to bid on whoever wants a striker. We're going to be on there too, right?" So I don't want to go through like deja vu with.
But this is what Chelsea do, though. They just sit there and just wait for other people to do the scouting work, and they just come in with their checkbook and just sign whoever they want. Which, give them props. They have Paul. We have to give them their props, even for a team that.
Well, they know that going early and getting money on the table, people pay attention. If you faff around and have like a million talks,
exactly. We don't div up. You've had a free run at Gyokeres for like 3 or 4 weeks. You had a free run, free run, and you divered because, like I said. He wanted Sesko all along. We know, right?
Yeah.
Why haven't you guys?
Yeah, but sorry, mate. You say you don't.
We know
you say
Sesko.
No, but that's fine.
I'll be honest with Arsenal and
Chelsea
now. I know that City Pool is back next year. My feet are kicked up. I am completely relaxed.
I think I think City.
I'm really not worried about. I'm now more worried about City. If you sign Sesko directly, my attention.
I thought you meant like the City Pool brotherhood you guys had going on.
No, fuck that brotherhood.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope that ain't no brotherhood.
Rivalry of all time.
Found guilty and they get relegated to League 2. Fuck Man City. You will never see me.
Very quiet, by the way.
Fuck that club. And you know this because you watch me on my channel. Do like the whole kumbaya with Arsenal. That's why.
No.
On the left,
you
did
this Liverpool this season that just passed. That's for sure. You were very happy.
Yeah, but if I'm working with Igal every week and he's like, the only reason why we won the league is the penalties and the injuries. What am I supposed to say? Oh yeah, Igal. Of course, I have to.
I've got a question though. I've got a question for Winter Surfer. How come Gyokeres? You guys haven't put in a bid for Gyokeres and you've gone for Delap?
I think Gyokeres for us is, unfortunately, I think he's like third choice behind Delap and
Isn't that crazy?
I know. I think he's a backup option. We don't get Etikite. I think
it's like for me, and all the reports are saying we're getting 2 strikers. So for me, I think Delap is definitely the replacement for Jackson. Because if we're going in for another striker and that striker is worth more than Delap, I doubt Delap is going to start over that striker then. So I think if the way I look at it, I think if what
Would you start?
Yeah,
Delap
Jackson's
over?
gone, bro. As far as I'm concerned, Jackson's done. He's done out here, bro. I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this again. Jackson's done out here.
That one-on-one really ended it for
that
everyone.
tells you everything you need to know, bro. Like, do you know how bad your
Oh,
touch
no,
has
it's
to
the
be
Newcastle
for you to
red card for me.
when
It's the
you
Newcastle red card that ended it for me.
the Newcastle red
To be
card?
honest,
Yeah, but like
before his injury this season, he was quality. Everyone was
That's
saying
not
how good he was.
necessarily true. He went through like a 9-game.
he was still he still had his issues, but again, what I go back to, I think Delap is a Jackson replacement, which I said for 30 M's is a fair punt. Like, I don't care, it's a good risk to take. I don't really mind it. And the way that I would hope the window works out, right, is I think if Arsenal going for Sesko, then Liverpool I think go in for Ekitike, and if that's the case, then then our third option in that case is Gyokeres. So it all depends on whether or not we beat Liverpool for Ekitike. No, Osimhen is asking. Osimhen is asking for 300K base net wages. So that's after taxes. He wants 300K base with no incentives. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. It's too much.
Yeah, it's like Rodrygo, isn't it? It's like Rodrygo.
Osimhen's not happening. Osimhen's never happening for Chelsea. It's just.
Yeah, that's why I give it up. It's like, so I think if indeed Arsenal go for Sesko, I think if Liverpool take Ekitike, then we go in for Gyokeres. But it all depends on what happens between Chelsea Liverpool for Ekitike. That's where I think that the domino falls, where either we take Gyokeres or not. That's what's going to happen.
Isn't that a strange way of going about, like, if Jackson is now, obviously everyone's saying Jackson's gone, don't you go for the guy that you want first as your spearhead of your team? Like, rather than like, oh yeah, okay, maybe Gyokeres will.
We don't want to because later. We know we can't because we don't want to dilly-dally and let United try to talk to him and let Amram try to do, a motivational speech to him, right? And try to like sell him on a multi-marketing scheme, right? That's happened over at United. That we're gonna be back. No, we got it done. We paid the 30 million, and that's it. The Jackson replacement is sorted. Now we're in the market for who actually is going to be leading the line.
I kicked some buttons and something popped up.
I'll be honest, just this Arsenal section, I really do hope Arsenal signs Sesko. I really do. I will pray that they do, because now I can be relaxed about one less.
No, but just know one thing. If we sign Sesko, but if we sign Sesko and it works, everybody will have to just put their hands up.
And it works. What, like he scores 14 goals?
No, like if
he scored 14 goals in 26 starts, right? And he got like a bunch of assists and scored champion. Like, everyone can like look at that league tally and go, "I find it's 30 games." And
no, I mean, listen, you're right, but the way that we go about life is on what's the highest likelihood of happening, and based off the stats, based off the eye test, Sesko's not going to work, bro.
We know that Marmoush got 57 GA in the Bundesliga, and then he got 1 goal.
Listen, I just got to thank Arteta, because our sporting director is looking at Sesko. I just got to thank Arteta, man. Thank you, bro. Thank you, man, for taking him off.
Yeah, and at this point in time, I just know Berta's just got another puppet.
Yes.
I'm just.
I don't know. Berta is a glorified. He's a glorified scout. That's what he is now. Just say it as it is. Berta is a glorified scout. That's it.
It's like having CFC done as your like thingy.
No.
Berta is now he's just a Y Scout guy now, bro. He's a Y Scout guy.
I think what Berta's thinking. This I think is what Berta's thinking. Berta's thinking.
I'm thinking, why did I take this job? That's what he's thinking.
No, he's not. Listen, mate. I think your sporting director needs his head checked, because you spent about £1 billion and none of your signings.
We'll get to Chelsea. Don't
anyway, let's move on from that. But what I'm saying is that Berta, I think Berta, Hussam, and the rest of the panel, I genuinely think he's here for the long haul. I think Berta could be thinking, you know what, let's give Arteta his player, because I'm going to be here after Arteta. So maybe he's thinking, ultimately, he's thinking long haul. This man's at the wit's end now. He's got a season to win something big. I don't think this is the right man. We know there's a conflict. We know for 100% Berta does not want Sesko. We know that based on the reports. We know that.
No. We don't know that he doesn't want Sesko. We know that he prefers Gyokeres. It's okay to have a disagreement. I think that's what you want, but you want people to come to an agreement in the end. You don't want everyone to agree from the start and just be like, yes, man. I think people are just going way too far with this, and they just want to paint Arteta as this dictator that's like now got Berta like pussy whipped. I don't think
he's not. And I think he's a good sporting director, and his track record shown it. I just, as I said, for his first impression, I agree with Roberto. As a first impression, to come in and everyone knows you don't prefer this target, but then the club to sign that target, it questions your role in the company. That's always going to be the case, especially because it's your first impression. He's come in and everyone knows that's not his preference, and then we're signing the player who's not the sporting director's preference. And I'll say it again, which is what I started with. What's the point of having a sporting director if you're going to go with what the manager wants anyway?
Okay, so what's your answer to that question? Because you asked that question. What's your answer as an Arsenal fan then?
My answer is that and I said this. The board need to step in, who are his employees, who are his employer, and say, look, the signings now have to be given to Berta, and Berta has to be the one to recommend the signing, right? And we've seen a lot of clubs do that. And then Arteta's power has to be removed, and the only people that can remove his power is the owners. If the owners want Arteta to stay as a good coach, leave him as a coach and bring people in to do that. But don't bring people in and then give Arteta what he wants anyway. Otherwise, what's the point of hiring Berta?
I agree with that, to be honest with you. I agree with that. Anyway, let me just grab these 2 super chats before we move on to the Chelsea. Big up to Kenneth, who says, when Garnacho leaves, we must replace him with Yamal. Insert video. You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. Kenneth, I just realized you are a troll. You get me because you got me animated like half an hour ago, but you are not gonna get me animated again, because one thing about me is I'm not gonna fall for the same trick twice. So thank you for the super chat, and we keep it stepping. Yamal has a bigger chance of playing for Al Faisali than Man United. Don't worry, you are safe. Big up to Terence, who says, big up the panel. Phase 7 and my strikers are 21-year-old Sesko plus Kai with Jesus probably leaving. I'm not confident at all. Come on, you gooners.
There's some people that like just wanted to do this. This is all they were looking for, was just to be able
No,
to
it's some people that wanted to celebrate a league title next year. I take
yeah.
Gyokeres right now.
Some people wanted trophies. Yep.
We'll see.
Yeah, Gyokeres is better to win next year. That's it. If your goal is to win next year, Gyokeres is better.
By the way, Liverpool fans in the chat, do not be shocked now if we go for Gyokeres. If these guys actually sign Sesko, do not be shocked. It's funny because I have this weird feeling of whichever one of Liverpool and Chelsea lose out on Ekitike might go in for Gyokeres.
Agreed.
Yep, that's what I told you. Yep, I told you that's the same.
But
Both of us have Ekitike as number 1. So whoever doesn't get Ekitike goes for Gyokeres.
Yeah, Ekitike might be the number 1 for both clubs, so we'll just go sign Gyokeres as plan B to Ekitike.
Why is Gyokeres
Which is crazy because it should be the other way around.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing though, when because RSM did message me when the Ekitike link came out, and I told him I like him. I think Ekitike is Isak from Wish. Like if there's anyone who could become Isak 2 years from now, a year and a half from now, a year from now, it is Ekitike because he is fundamentally sound. Now, you might tell me, oh, Ekitike only has 15 goals. And yeah, I know. I don't think his goal scoring is his best attribute. However, Ekitike has a good first touch. He's very good in terms of link-up play. He's very good in terms of bringing his wingers into play. There's a reason why Marmoush scored a shitload of goals as well with him in the team, because Ekitike holds up the ball. He brings the ball up. He's got fundamentals. You know, in the words of Jose Mourinho, he has the basics of football. So he has the basics of football. You know, so... That's why I think he's
a season and a half of data, right? And
but that's why we're looking at Ekitike though, because he's basically just Nicholas Jackson premium.
No, he's much better than Nicholas Jackson.
No, but that's my point. He's much better than Jackson. But his role is, for what the Chelsea team want him to do, is we still want a striker in the profile of Jackson, which is why we're going in for Ekitike. And Ekitike is just a better Jackson. That's what I'm saying. He's a better Jackson.
Andrew, that's a fair criticism, by the way, the price. Even Roberto would agree with you. The price is too much. I don't agree with you.
But
I'm not trying to pay 100 million for Ekitike. I think Ekitike, I said it on my show today. Listen, up to 60 million
M's, bro. 60 M's. Yep,
yeah,
60 M's.
65 would be like, okay. 70, I'd be like, that's a bit much.
After that, 65 if like we do some add-ons to that price. You know what I'm saying?
These days. Like Solanke was 65 million or whatever. Like,
but that is why. But again, that is why we got Delap through the door immediately, because he was like no matter what, we're getting the replacement to Jackson, even if we failed to get Ekitike. That's why Delap came through the door immediately. One day, conference final. One day after Delap is done.
I don't get this. Everyone's excited about having a 30 million striker, like, you know, like they're saving their own money or something. I don't understand.
Well, no, I think it's about having a squad, right? It's the thing. A squad win titles, not teams. So I think it's a smart move. I wish
he's not wrong though, because like
this is why the Athletic actually reported 2 days ago that Havertz might be the starting striker next year again for us, because Sesko might just be.
Oh my god! If
it's the Athletic, it's not Hussam. Why are you mad at me?
Hey, hold up. And if you look at it though, it makes sense, because in Arteta's mind, Havertz is older and more experienced. Sesko would be learning under Havertz, which is just awful. That's absolutely
if Havertz
nasty,
is our starting striker next year, he
is. By the way, the article literally said people are going to be surprised by how many games he starts. It's gonna be great, bro.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I love it.
But we need options. Like we need backups to injuries. We saw what happens when we go, yeah, we're just going to roll with like one striker. Oh yeah, we'll be fine. Dorian Martinelli got injured. Havertz got injured. Blah blah blah. And even Arteta was there in January saying, we need players. I need attackers. Sign me some players. We didn't do anything. So
so he's
about him being a dictator. What?
Yeah.
So he signed two shit ones.
Exactly. So it's not smart. It's not smart. I think the signing of Sesko tells me that he wants to play Havertz and Sesko to like in terms of some games and give him a split opportunity. It doesn't make sense, guys. Come on,
he wants Sesko to grow under Havertz. That's his plan.
Exactly. We need to wake up. We need to wake up and face the music. When you look at signing players, you don't only look at the players you need. You look at the players around you and the teams around you and who they're signing. Look around us and look what's going on now. We have Liverpool, literally, who spent nothing last summer, just coming out this summer now after a league title and going, yeah, we're going to go and sign all these players. Then you have Chelsea, who are signing players who just got UCL football. You have City, who linked to Reinders and a lot of other targets, who just spent 200 million in January. And then you have us linked with Benjamin Sesko, who's 21, is going to come in.
No, but at the same time, teams excited about Delap and wanting to sign Ekitike over Gyokeres. Like, there's no one out there putting that nail in that position.
Zubimendi, I don't think makes Arsenal better though.
No, I think he does. I think he does. No, I think he does. And I'll give Arsenal credit.
I'm in Arsenal's place. I would have paid like 25 million for Cherki. That's why I think make Arsenal.
We know you hate Zubimendi.
That'd be good.
Zubimendi. Sam hates Zubimendi because Liverpool didn't get him. That's why. But his club was linked to him.
No. To be fair,
I don't think Zubimendi breaks up Rice and Partey.
That's what I was going to say. I don't think Zubimendi's better than your options. So.
And I like Arsenal, and I like Arsenal what they're doing by the report came out. They're trying to keep Partey as well. Arteta's actively saying we want to keep Partey, and I think with Partey, obviously Jorginho's leaving. With Partey, Odegaard, Rice, and Zubimendi, I think we have an excellent midfield. I think we have different options, different variations of play. We have obviously offensive-based midfielders. We have good eights. I think in midfield we're set. The problem now becomes. And I think our defense is quite solid as well. I think obviously Timber, Ben White, obviously you have good centre-back options. I think our biggest problem now is going to be the attacking positions, the left winger and the striker. And so far, all I've heard is we're not getting Gyokeres. Rodrygo's asking for too much money and now Real Madrid want to keep him. We're giving Trossard a new flipping contract. Martinelli's going to stay and we're signing Benjamin Sesko. So basically, we're going into next season with the same bullshit, barring and additions in midfield.
No, for me, it's not good enough. We have to sign a winger that's at least able playing left wing, but probably both sides. Because
but who are we linked to?
I think Arteta knows we can't rely on Martinelli and Trossard on that left wing. If we ended up with just that would be suicidal.
Yeah, but he's linked with bloody Nico Williams.
It's transfer talk now, so
Nico Williams.
Transfer talk. I can't bring Wolfie's just gonna turn the show into like an absolute it's just gonna be a shit fest. Anyway, listen, big up to everyone locked in. I do want to move on to Chelsea to talk about Delap, to talk about all the kind of Chelsea situations right now. A lot of excitement right now on the Chelsea fan base. 30 million pounds, Liam Delap. Before we do that, big up everyone locked in. 1,100 people in the building. We're not even at 500 likes yet. Have some shame. We're talking about strikers, and your conversion rate is not good. So close your live chat and hit the like button right now. We're just 5 likes away from 300 likes. Let's get there and let's keep pushing as well, because every time you like the video, it pushes the channel out. And do go subscribe to RSM TV, subscribe to Casual FC, and subscribe to Saad's Football Corner. You get me? Because that's what we've plugged in for Solz and these guys. So make sure you guys are liking, make sure you guys are subscribing, keep getting around the chat. So let me just quickly share the screen. This is what happened just as we're about to go live. Liam Delap to Chelsea. Here we go. Agreement in place. 30 million release clause will be triggered. Manchester City will not use back the buyback clause. And Delap has already accepted the Chelsea project. Long-term deal. Maresca impact plus Champions League football key. Delap will join Chelsea. So, Andrew, we'll start off with you. Delap headed to Chelsea Football Club. 30 million pounds. Talk to the people, brother.
Yeah, I'm actually pleased with the deal. I just want to say, I think all Chelsea fans are in agreement. It can't be the only striker deal. This summer, that's what the agreement is.
He's not the starting striker, right?
I don't believe he is or should be at all. Should be.
It depends if he's scoring. It depends if he's scoring.
But but I think it's a good deal. He scored about 12 goals in a rubbish Ipswich team. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with it. I'm happy we wrapped up early. I think it's a very easy deal to do, obviously, because it's a buyout clause and stuff like that. So it's an easy deal to do. I think, obviously, I have to admit though, I think though, if Man United won Europa League, I think he might have gone to them. I've got to be honest with you, because he's from a guy he's from the north and shit like that. But it doesn't matter. We won it. We got the deal. We got it wrapped up. I think he's a very good player. Obviously, he's raw still, but a good option. I think he's a better finisher than Jackson. I think he's got better box presence than Jackson, and that's something that we slowly miss. And also, it's an option. It's an option that we don't have, and that's our own fault. That's our own recruitment fault for not having the options in the first place. But
you guys had like Guiu and Broha and like Datro Fofana. You guys have been cycling through strikers. Like
Datro Fofana has never really. He's played like 12 minutes for this club and never played it. And Guiu is probably going to go on loan to Ipswich and stuff like that. So for me, it's a very good deal. Like I said, it's 30 million. It's a snip. Yeah, I'm pleased with it. I don't understand this. I think Chelsea fans I think they just love to moan sometimes. I really do. I think they just love to be like, oh, this is happening, stuff like that. Like I said, if it's the only striker deal, I'll understand the moan. But if it's not, and he's an addition with someone, he's not the solution. He's an addition to me. Okay, that's what he is. But I think he'll get more chances at Chelsea. Obviously, he'll create more chances, and I think he'll bag more goals, and he'll bag important goals as well. So for me, it's a good deal, very good deal. So it's a good start to the window for me.
Arsene?
Yep. No, I mean, I agree. I think all the reports are saying we were in for 2 strikers. I think even before the Delap deal was done, that's what we're looking for. And I think it makes sense. I mean, when both Jackson and Gui went down in the same game on the last day of the window in January, like you couldn't, that taught them a lesson. You can't do this again. So they're getting in 2 strikers this time. And like I said before, I think, I agree with Angela. There's a lot of people complaining. There's a lot of people moaning. But I think at the end of the day, I think if he actually bangs and does well for us, then we're going to look at it as a steal, right? If in 1 to 2 years he doesn't perform, I still think we can sell him to Everton for 30 M's and like break even, because they would still take him for 30. I don't think it's a crazy thing to say that like this for the price is really, really good. I think it's a bargain. I think it's an efficient signing. I think it's a smart signing. I agree with Andrew. We have to see next then who comes in ahead of him, right? Who is going to be leading the line? Because this is more so with depth. And I mean, we saw it even in the game against Real Betis, right? Like when you have a better bench than other teams, it affords you the ability to win games and to change the tide. And we are going to need that when we're going to be in the UCL, when we're going to be hopefully, competing at the top of the Prem. We need this type of depth coming off the bench, right? Because Jackson is not enough. He has had 2 seasons and he's shown his deficiencies. And we are not at the point, like if it's, we reached UCL football. We got not even with the 5th spot, we got top 4. We got a trophy. So the players, as much as people want to downplay the trophy, I think for this group of players, it is important, because this group of players, this isn't Drogba, this isn't Terry. For this group of players, it's important. And so if they want to go continue on winning, right? Maresca hit his targets. The team is hitting their targets. Now we need the directors to do what they need to do, right? And get in that center forward that is going to score the chances that Jackson has missed, right? That Enzo and Palmer were providing. And so I think this is the rating for this signing has to wait until we see who comes in after, right? Who's the second striker? Until we see who the second striker is, I don't think you can fully come to a conclusion on Delap. I think it's a good thing regardless, but we need to see what happens after.
Have you guys still got Nkunku and Felix for next season?
They're gone. They're out of here.
Who's gonna sign Felix though? I think you will find a club for Nkunku. But
it might be a loan, but I don't know.
I think he might have to be part of like a deal. Do you know what I mean? I think he might have to go in like part exchange. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't rate this guy Felix at all. I just think I think he's an absolute bum. And even Milan, he's got like 3 goals or something. Even they hate him over there, and he's only a lone player.
He's a good. He's good on the eye. I think technically he's quite good.
He's a comps player.
No, but that's what I mean. It shows that in football now, having technical ability alone is not enough for now. Because I think football
that's quickly becoming the floor.
No, that's what I mean. Like football's now become an efficiency-based sport, where now you need the Salahs and the Sakas and the people that are putting up numbers, but not necessarily looking technically pleasing.
Right.
It's what's happening now. It's all about a numbers game. Like for example, Salah can score 20, 30 goals. And at the end of the day, even though he doesn't do rainbow flicks and things like that, and he's not flary and he's not a technical based player, efficiency wins you games now. And ultimately, if you're a winger that's not scoring at least 15 goals now, your class is a bum. But back in the day, in the Giggs days and the Hazard days, you could have a 7, 8, 9, 10 goal season, but your impact was still amazing because you were doing other things on the pitch. But now football's changed, and players like Nkunku and Felix are great technically. I think they're very good players, but I think ultimately they're not cutting it for a very difficult league. But I wouldn't be surprised if Nkunku goes to a different league and does really well. Honestly.
I think he will. I think Nkunku's the easier one to sell by far out of the two. I think he, someone like a PSG, maybe a Bayern or something like that as that backup. It's like, I think he's the easier one to sell. I think João Felix, that's why I was like, I didn't banter him as much on loan because I had to remember he's still our player, so he's still coming back. So it's one of those. I think we'll get good money for Nkunku still. People will still pay that. We're very good at selling players. People will go, how are we going to sell the players? We're one of the best, or with City, we're the best at selling players, no matter what. Somehow we always get people to buy our rubbish.
Do you think there's any pressure on you guys to win this next season? To win anything?
I'll ask me that after the window.
Because Delap feels like a bit more of like carrying on with the previous kind of signing stuff, cheap, young. Maybe we'll make a profit. Maybe they'll be all right. We won't care. But it doesn't seem like you're like win now type signing, right?
If they follow, I know it's going to sound mad, but it isn't a hypothetical. If they follow up with Gyokeres and Rodrygo, then the pressure's on to win, and it should be. And it should be on to win. I said even
the Premier, the UCL.
I'm not here to make up the numbers in the Champions League. I'm not excited to hear the theme song at my stadium. I couldn't care less who we play in the group stages. I'm there to win it.
We want the third, man.
I'm there to go. I'm there to win it. I'm not there to make up the numbers. I don't care if we finish in the top 8 or top 24, whatever playoff.
To be honest, I think you're far away. I think you're far away from that, and not based on technical and not based on personnel, but I just think your manager is not good enough for me personally. And two, I think look, Chelsea are in. I understand Chelsea fans are happy with again this season, and I think how it ended, in contrast, is a very good ending, especially from how it could have ended. But I think overall, you guys are really you guys were in the mud because ultimately you spent so much money on so many players who ultimately you just overloaded a full team, and none of them, there was no style of play. No one knew who they were playing. There were too many changes being made. Obviously, Mikhailo Mudryk came in, Madueke came in, and all these guys came in for big money, and none of them really performed. So ultimately, I think Chelsea needs to start being more careful with their signings and start being more tactical with their signing, because over the years, Chelsea were just buying anybody who they were linked to. They were just buying, and there was no like output being given. But I think you guys definitely need to start selling some players, and I think you need to start with Felix and Nkunku and all of these guys.
I think now the new scary is Chelsea. I'll worry about Chelsea if they make a lot of smart transfer decisions this summer. Yeah. I think the one thing I would say about Chelsea is I've got to see two things. I've got to see serious transfers. First of all, I'll start by saying Delap. I'm going to release a pre-recorded video on Delap as well and speak about him because of the Here We Go. I think he's a fantastic signing for Chelsea. I think, listen, 30 million in 2025 is a steal. Like, it's just 30 million in this day and age is like essentially 5 million from 15 years ago.
It's 10 million it's 10 million pre-Neymar transfer. That's what it is. It's 10 million.
Yeah, exactly. It's like 10 million pre-Neymar. No, even 5 million pre-Neymar. I'd say.
I would say 5. I would say, no, especially keep in mind with the way that the transfer market is. Bro, the striker market is getting picked apart. It's getting picked apart this window. So to get a striker for 30. It's not bad, man.
Yeah, if he's not good enough to lead the line, like, what are you doing?
And I understand he got relegated with Ipswich. I understand what Martin said. But Chelsea are simply not in the position that Arsenal are in. Chelsea haven't been, challenging for 3 years and blah, blah, blah. Chelsea are still building. Liverpool, when we were building and we got top 4, we signed Robertson from a relegated Hull. We signed Wijnaldum from a relegated Newcastle. And they both considerably improved us. I do think you can look at relegation sides. Like, one of the examples is Dibbling from Southampton, one of the worst clubs we have seen in our life, but he probably does make a lot of clubs better,
Lavia came from Southampton.
You might go to a Leicester and sign, what's his name again, that left winger? Keep forgetting his name.
Who?
The left winger, Chelsea wanted him as well, I swear, last summer. I forgot his name anyway.
Which
But
one?
someone in the chat remind us. The Leicester left winger, I forgot his name. Mavididi.
The French one.
Mavididi.
Mavididi.
That's the guy. So you can still improve with teams that are maybe not necessarily good in the league if the player performs well. At the end of the day, the guy scored 12 goals playing for Ipswich Town.
Yeah.
Who have struggled creatively at a massive level. And one thing about Delap is he's an absolute unit.
Yeah.
Like this guy is like a train running at you, and at the same time has a good first touch.
Bullied our center backs when we played him.
Yeah, he's a bully. Can we stop with this Esteva Willian thing? Can we stop?
I got to
Can we
say,
stop it?
leave him
Come on.
alone. Leave him alone.
No, the guy
bro,
is like
I love-
17 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love Esteban, but I love Esteban, man.
Leave him
But
alone. Let him.
We gotta give him time.
The
We gotta give him
flies in the
time.
bag, Todd.
Yeah.
You gotta give him
exactly.
time,
I've got
man.
a question for you. Don't
Santos
you think
is
there
good,
should be
though.
more pressure on Chelsea to do something a bit more than just being in and around top four from the amount that they've spent since the new owners came in, that they're not getting like just a free ride? Like Arteta was challenging after 2 seasons of 8th and 5th, right? Like he had a half season, which was Emery's, but this feeling like it should be 5 years to get to the top. I don't know where that comes from because we're not.
Well, you're
we won't get to
confusing
the
with
same.
you're confusing with the money we spent with not.
You're
we
basically
spent
saying Chelsea are the blue Arsenal. That's
No, well, they're getting a free ride. Like there's no pressure on Chelsea, really. I
What?
want there to be more pressure on
You got
Chelsea.
a free ride? What are you talking about?
we've been
Right, you
absolutely
guys-
thrown
you signed
over the
Liam
coals
Delap,
the
you're just
entire time.
developing for the
We
future.
got
You're
called the blue
taking it.
billion-pound bottle jobs. What are we doing here?
Well, first of all, you're forgetting one thing, Martin. It's
What?
PR also because he's English, so he's going to get a favourable thing in this country already because he's English, so he's going to get a favourable from everyone about that. Second of all, I think you're confusing with the money we spent of who we spent it on. If we spent all our money on Galacticos and Man City thing, then I would be with you. That's why I said to you earlier about 5 minutes ago. If we signed Gyokeres and Rodrygo, you better damn sure put pressure on us, and you would have to put pressure on us to.
But what
to
if you
win
don't
something.
sign them? Like, what if you just
Well, that's
get
what I'm
some
saying.
more development players and take another
That's what I'm
year?
saying. I can't. You cannot go into a Champions League with more potential. You cannot do that and aim for it. I don't want to be in a situation where we're just happy qualifying for the Champions League. I don't want that.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to win things. And everyone, like I've seen on most streams today, I saw on the Sam stream earlier, it's like, oh, Chelsea just want to be above Arsenal. No, I want to be above everyone. It's not just one single club I want to be above. I want to be above everyone. Do you know what I mean?
Who said that?
I think one. I was either a message or something on one. I think your stream earlier with Don and that lot. Like they were going, Chelsea only want to be above Arsenal. It's like, no, I want to be above everyone. I don't want to focus on one team. Do you know what I mean? I don't want that. But the recruitment is key. If you're coming to me and we sign only Delap and Gittins, then you can piss off. I'm not doing it.
Not me.
By the way, the same way I feel about Sesko, I feel about the Gittins.
Oh yeah.
Gittins needs like 3 more years, honestly.
Yeah.
The guy is he's so not ready at this moment in time.
Why
The
would
guy
we
went
bring-
15 games without a goal in the Bundesliga,
But
bro.
We would be throwing him to the wolves, bro. We'd be throwing him to the wolves in this
Why
league.
would we bring Esteval into?
Wait, are you guys
sending?
sending Sancho back?
I don't know. We're trying to get him to lower his wages. That's what we're trying to do at this moment.
As long as he
Listen,
agrees
I think-
to be within
I
our
think-
wage structure, he stays.
No,
Which for
but
me
I think-
personally, I
think-
wouldn't mind it.
I think Gittins a good player, man. Honestly, I think he's got a lot of qualities.
Souls. But the thing is, Souls. We've already got development type wingers. I don't want, and we're already bringing Esteval in, who's a young, who's a
And
young
we got that kid from
Why do I
Sporting,
want Gittins?
Quenda, whatever. He's coming in too.
Quenda, next season's a development. Why do I want one? I've already seen Madueke in that final last night do the worst stepovers I've seen since Lukaku in my entire
Awful,
life.
bro.
The guy, honestly, I don't get into
Palmer
I don't-
legitimately
that's
looked better
thing.
on the wing, bro.
I can't sign Gittins and just the lap, and then people go to me, yeah, you should be winning the Premier League and Champions League. It doesn't compute. It
doesn't, and you can sign. It doesn't commute because, and this is what I've been saying. This is the point that I've been making to a lot of fans in the fan base when it comes to Arteta, which is that just because you make quality signings and you're playing good football, it's never a given to win anything because there's always teams around you that could be doing the same thing or better. So ultimately, if Liverpool sign Wirtz and they sign Alvarez or Tikite and they sign Frimpong and Gyokeres and they've won the league this year. Even if we do sign Gyokeres, what right do we have to win a league next season? Well, yes, we should win it. Yes, we should win it, but we're up against an animal, just like we were up against treble-winning Man City when we got 89 points.
But Liverpool had some of the highest second-place point finishes ever. Like, what are we saying? There's always going to be teams that are better, but the issue with when you go into the transfer market, you want to get the best players to give yourself the best possible chance to take away as much uncertainty as possible.
Yeah, to be honest, I think you don't need to chill out because I think I understand and I respect it, guys, in terms of your expectations for your club. And Chelsea is a Champions League winning team. They've won league titles, Champions Leagues. They should be aiming for the top. But you need to be realistic about where you are now. You're not going to win the league next season, regardless of who you sign.
But you know what it is?
You're just not good enough.
But you know what it is, though? When we won the Champions League last, were we major favorites? Who going into that Champions League said, "Are we major favorites?" No, but that's my point. That's my point. Is saying we want to be back at the top, right? And so we want the signings that reflect that. That's it. We're not saying that we're going to promise, but if we get top of the line signings, then our expectations naturally have to rise. Even if what you're saying is true and our manager isn't ready or whatever, right? That doesn't mean that our expectations lower then. Because the signings are indicating that we should be at a higher level, so we need to be operating at the higher level.
And I think the UCL, you can't make a run in the UCL because in the UCL we've seen teams.
It's a cup run,
and we've seen in history teams haven't performed as well in their domestic leagues and still got far in the UCL. So the UCL, anything can happen, and you guys have experience and heritage there. But I mean, in terms, go on.
These sporting directors should be on their knees kissing Maresca's butt because he's kept them in a job and made them look good for what they've done in terms of recruitment and the owners to a certain point as well. So they should be backing him if he wants. If Rodrygo is on the table to leave, and I don't, Xabi Alonso can say what he wants about him. Like we all know that the coach at Real Madrid has no say over recruitment of any players and stuff like that, or selling them and stuff like that. But Rodrygo is the type of player that you don't pass on. Do you know what I mean? He's like Real Madrid very rarely.
But he won't lower his wage demands for Chelsea.
But the thing is,
why should he lower his wage demands?
But there's also reports. First of all, his wage demands, I think, is like what, 250? I think something like that. He's not earning insane.
It's higher. He wants like 350.
He wanted 300, but even then, it's not that deep, by the way.
No.
That's net. He wants 300 net.
No shot. I don't think that's what it is.
But Chelsea passed on Elise. He only wanted like 180 or something like that.
Yeah, but even then, I think Xabi Alonso's come in. He's probably had a conversation with him. Again, you have to understand, a new manager coming in, he can pick who he wants to keep and sell. He was linked with leaving, obviously, because of Ancelotti's player choices, right? So he's going to have a conversation with Xabi Alonso. He's going to set his requirements out. If Xabi Alonso agrees on his requirements in terms of playing time, etc., he will stay. If not, he needs to go. Even if he goes, there's only a select few clubs that are going to pay his wages. Liverpool are not going to pay those wages. Arsenal are not going to pay those wages.
No, we can, but we don't need that.
No, you can, but you won't. FSG's history has shown that
it's not easy to
look how long they took. Look how long they took to pay Van Dijk and Salah what they wanted, and those are their biggest stars that won them everything.
I don't think he'll go. I think it's kind of like one of those things where they just want to like put the feelers out there so that then Real Madrid can make him feel wanted, and he'll hang around because it's a career suicide to leave Real Madrid and go anywhere else. And the same reason I don't think Alvarez is going anywhere. I think he wants to get more appreciation, a sweeter deal. You can use the agents to like talk about offers from other clubs, but I think he'll end up staying as well. So there's a bunch of strikers or options in attack which just aren't moving or are going to be so expensive that our clubs are not going to take that risk.
Yeah, they're not. And this is what I said. That's why I said, like, obviously I want Rodrygo. He's a dream signing for Arsenal and we're linked with him. But ultimately I know Arsenal because I've been supporting my club all my life. I just know that we're just not going to pay those wages after net. It's just not going to happen. And it's disappointing because when a player like that comes on the market, he's a player that you need to wrap up and take straight away. But I think in summary, Chelsea have to make smarter signings. I think I am slightly more concerned about them than anyone else, barring City and Liverpool, because I do think they have the ability to sign.
You shouldn't
big
be
players.
worried. You have Sesko now.
Yeah, we have Sesko, but listen, I'll be honest with you, I'm not.
Here we go yet. Stop doing that.
Yeah, it's not here we go yet, and I'm not too concerned. Like Chelsea, as I said, we're fighting different animals. We're fighting the gorillas and the bears, which is the City and the Liverpools. So we have to look at the little trumps that are below us that might come up and knock on our doors, which are Chelsea. But ultimately, if you guys,
the trumps are only 5 points behind.
Not only that, it's really crazy. Says this when there's been like no silverware to prove that this Arsenal team is going to be able to really.
The
do
chumps
anything,
are only 5
that's
points
fine.
behind, my brother.
It's crazy to me. Bro.
Look, Liverpool didn't win any silverware when they got 99 points in the league. They didn't win the league when they got 99
We won the
points.
Champions League.
Stop. We're not doing.
No. I know, but I'm
Look
just
at
saying.
the context of literally what came directly before.
I know that. But what I'm saying to it is
We won the
that
Champions League and we won the Carabao Cup and FA Cup that year.
yeah.
Our players have actually got experience. Of winning.
Don't be shameless.
I'm not shameless at
How's
all.
that
It's the
shameless? That's a
truth.
domestic double.
But
That's
that
a
was not your
trophy.
objective. But that was not your objective, Sam.
Domestic
You talk about
double.
objectives a lot.
No,
But that was
no,
not
you
your
know,
objective.
you know what? You know what? Hold up. You're correct. It wasn't the objective. However, winning those trophies showed that the team still had the capacity within them to compete and win trophies. The Arsenal project has not shown at any point that it is capable of winning even a Carabao Cup. That's an issue. That's directly an issue.
In the words of Thierry Henry, did you watch the clip?
Now I watched the clip, and I agree with
You don't even bring home a cup. He said it.
I agree. No. But look, I agree. I agree.
It's a bit rush from Henry because he didn't bring home a cup of
Oui,
that.
oui. You get me?
Look,
Oui, oui.
just because he's our biggest club
Je
legend,
m'appelle
I'm just
Hossam.
gonna-
Je suis Jardinian. Let's go.
simultaneously agree with him because I do think that, as I said, I think that Arteta, like at the end of the day, I cannot Arteta, whether he wins an FA
Can
Cup
never learn
or
French.
whether he wins an FA Cup or a League Cup, it doesn't save his job for me. It gives him no credit in the bank. So I don't rate that. I would rather Arsenal challenge for a Prem and Champs every year and try and win it and hopefully win it towards the end than us finish like do what Chelsea did.
So are
finish
you going to
fourth.
win it now with Sesko?
Well, look, I think I think that Arteta has a good chance of winning it based on his record, based on
With
him
Sesko
challenging.
and with Liverpool getting Wirtz, City getting Sharky, blah, blah, blah.
We have a low chance because of the teams around us, but I think again, what can we do? Even if we sign Gyokeres, I think we have a low chance. Even if we sign Gyokeres.
No, Gyokeres makes your chances up.
It makes it way higher. It makes it way
What,
higher. We're not doing
Way
this.
higher.
even with who Liverpool are looking at.
Yes.
Like,
It's
let's be
way
honest.
higher.
Yeah, but your
No, because-
chances are
hold up,
still
your
higher with
chances, that's what I'm
Gyokeres
saying.
than they
Your
are with
chances,
Sesko.
exactly. Your chances of winning games goes up with Gyokeres. So that's all you need to worry about. Because you only play City and Liverpool 4 times. That's it. You're not playing them all the rest of the
And
league.
these chumps that you're talking about finish
I'm
5
not-
points behind you. Just sign Delap, who's better than Sesko.
Yeah,
They're
but use
about to go sign another
He's
striker.
not better than Sesko.
No. But Hassan,
Sesko, I think
Apple's like Eddie and Kedia level.
but Hassan, use context.
Eddie Nketiah. Oh,
No, sorry, guys. No, Hassan, the same
Why
context
did he
you
use
use.
30 million? Come on.
No, but not even that. He
Yeah,
can.
the price
I-
tag.
And I'm gonna silence all the Chelsea fans now because I've heard, and it's not you guys by the way, but we finished 5 points behind Arsenal. The same context you use for Liverpool finishing on 84 points and winning the league. We stopped trying towards the end of the season. We stopped trying for the Premier League because of the UCL, and that was and you have to add that context. We could have finished on a much higher
But
point.
again, no. The thing is, no, you're correct. You're correct. But adding back in context, go to the beginning of the season. How many points were you behind Liverpool already? That's my whole point. Like,
RSM, I got this, RSM. You guys stopped trying in November. You were dropping points in November. So don't give me this. You stopped trying in March.
What?
You stopped trying in November.
But that was due to unprecedented circumstances.
oh my god,
Yeah.
the unprecedented circumstances, bro.
You know, I'm so upset that I met Hassam when they won the league. I wish I met him when they were in the dumps because he's got all his arrogance. That he's
Back when
coming
they were
up with.
bridesmaids. They don't want to remember.
Hey, I
that.
would have shown you the same energy. I would have said, come back when I got 5 UCLs. Don't worry. I was
Or
shameless
even,
to the United
or even
fans.
one. Or how about even one? A singular
Yeah.
one. Just one.
Listen, we
I was
are-
shameless to the United fans growing up in the
Don't-
UAE. I was
Listen,
shameless to them.
Arsenal Football Club has won a UCL this year. Big up to Arsenal women. We don't discriminate. Arsenal are Champions League winners.
So what, you trying to cancel us? We're talking about the men's game, not the women's
Why
game.
though? Why? Because it counts on our record as the Champions League for the club. Arsenal Football Club has won a UCL.
Okay,
We're not doing
Solz,
this, bro.
name
We're not
right.
doing
What?
this.
Everyone stop. Name 5 Arsenal women's player right now.
I can name you 5 women's
You know,
players,
matter of
but I
fact,
don't
matter
need-
of fact,
Name them. Name them. Why you
the
Google
person
it?
who
Why you
scored-
opening
no,
new
I'm
tab?
not gonna name
Do
them.
not
Hold
open
on.
new tab.
I'm not
Right
gonna
now.
Google and I'm not gonna name them. But all I'm gonna say is where
Okay,
you
how about
score
this?
winners.
Name the striker who made the winning goal in the UCL
I
final.
know the striker.
At least
but
that.
I'm not gonna, I know the striker. I know the striker. I even know her
Then-
first and
then-
last.
then
name.
say
I
your
know-
name.
I know who we signed her from as well. But
Then what's her name?
no,
Do you know the
don't-
man? Do you know the manager's
Look,
name?
I don't need to hear anything.
You don't even know the name of the person who scored the winning goal. What are we
I
doing
don't
here?
need- I don't need to hear anything from Conference League winners. I don't need to hear anything from you guys. Go and do your parade. Go and do your parade in that dog shit competition.
Hold.
Why are you?
I know
putting
that
a big-
4-1 gave you PTSD. Hold.
Is he your biggest legend? Is he your biggest legend? Because I'm sure I'm seeing a picture of a guy who never won a UCL for
Don't
a
blame
club.
me. Blame Henry. It's not my fault. Henry couldn't score in the final, bro.
Can I just say, I don't need to hear anyone whose greatest player is not clutching the final like Nicholas Jackson. I don't need to hear that either. Okay, so I don't need to hear
Nicholas
that.
Jackson?
So, yeah.
Are you comparing Henri to Nicholas Jackson? Because I might lose
No,
my mind.
like
Hold up.
Jackson,
In finals, in European finals,
yeah.
who scored a goal?
In finals, yeah. In finals,
Why are
yeah.
you talking about finals? I don't understand. Do you guys watch
Because
football only the
Thierry
No,
finals?
you know what? Yeah, you know what? Hold up,
Never
Andrew.
turned up
Andrew,
in
that was a
finals.
perfect way to just end the argument. He said, "Why are we talking about finals?" That's all you need to say, bro.
Exactly.
Thank
yeah,
you.
why are we talking about
Thank you. There you go.
finals?
There you go.
No, no,
All-
no.
Andrew and I are arguing about
you're
finals
moving
and
like
winning,
fans,
and he's
you
like,
know.
"Why are we talking about
Let me
finals?"
see one thing. Let me
You
see
know
one
what?
thing.
You're
I didn't want to.
completely
Look. I
You're
really wanted
completely
to
correct,
come in.
bro.
I wanted to come on the stream and have a level-headed conversation, which I think we've had for the best part of an hour and 15 minutes. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to get triggered because I'm sick of these Chelsea fans that have now coming up saying we having a better season. We've won a trophy. How disgusting!
I didn't
is it
even
that
say
you're-
that. I didn't
Wait,
even say
let me say
that.
one thing. How shameless of your football players to be in a changing room having doing concerts and singing to each other after winning a stupid
They were at a
dusty
club.
third-tier
They were at a
European
club.
competition. Shameless. The Europa Conference League. We
How
will
many
never
first- how
ever.
many first
We
prize
won't
They're
winners
compete.
are there?
kids.
Listen,
They're
we will
literally
never-
kids. Like I don't
They're
know
not
what
kids.
you think this is,
They're not
bro.
kids.
They're literally
not
kids,
They're
bro.
not kids, and they're not kids. I'm seeing Caicedo, Reece James. I'm seeing experienced, proven players dancing and celebrating
This is their
after winning a Conference League, a third-tier European competition.
Legitimately, so hold
Liverpool-
up. So you're
if
not allowed
Liverpool
to
won that
celebrate winning
competition-
trophies
Let me
anymore.
say
You're not
one
allowed to
thing.
celebrate winning
Yeah,
trophies.
yes, Allah. If Liverpool won that competition next season, which they will never do because they'll never be shit enough to be in it, right? If they did
You
win
were
it,
shit
it
enough to be
wouldn't-
in it.
No, we will. Listen, look.
It just didn't
Arteta-
exist. You
Listen
failed to
one
even
thing.
get into Europa
We
one
will-
time.
We will never.
What are we
will
doing
never,
here? You were
Well, I'm
in
gonna
Europa
put this-
and
I'm
you
gonna-
still
I'm gonna-
lost.
Sam, clip this clip.
You
clip
lost
this
to
clip.
Daddy.
Arsenal.
You lost
Arsenal,
to Daddy. You
listen,
lost to Daddy
Arsenal.
in the final.
Let me lay my point. Arsenal will not be in the Conference League or the Europa League in the next 10 years. We won't be in any of those competitions because we don't drop down anymore. The Champions
don't
Don't
drop
drop down
bro.
anymore.
We don't
Yeah,
drop down
No. I mean the
Oh my
UCL.
God, bro.
The third
7
place
years.
UCL teams.
7 years.
The third place UCL teams don't drop down into the Europa League anymore.
This guy,
So
bro.
that means we won't be there anymore. Go celebrate your
The thing is, hold
shameless
up,
third-tier
bro,
European
you were
competition. We don't
there.
care
You
about
were
it.
there, and you know
We
what
don't care
happened?
about it.
Bro,
Belt to ass 4 times. It was
Sam, clip this.
4-1.
I would rather finish second and challenge for the next 10 years and not win it than finish fourth
What?
and win a stupid
No.
conference.
Please clip that.
There's
Clip
no
Clip
way
that.
you just said that.
I'd rather
There's
do that
no
than
way.
finish
There
fourth.
is no way you
I'd
just said
rather
that.
do that than finish
Can I
fourth.
just say this? Can I just
I
say
don't
this?
want to finish fourth.
Can
You
I
have to
just say this?
challenge.
Because
No.
I
You said you would rather finish it, but never win. You said you would never win.
No. Contextualize what I said. I said I'd rather
RSM.
finish second and not win it than finish fourth.
RSM.
I don't want to finish
RSM.
fourth.
I
Who wants to finish
how
fourth?
embarrassing you are. I tell you how embarrassing you are. Martin's turned his camera off. That's how embarrassing you are.
Oh
You are
my
a
God.
typical- You are a
He would
typical-
rather not win for
Let me
10
just say
years.
this.
You guys aren't
10
worth your trouble,
years.
huh?
Your team was in a top 4 race this year.
A
Your team was in a top 4 race this year.
Let me
decade.
just say
Bro,
this
a
right
decade
now.
of
You
no
were in a top
winning.
4 race. How
Once
shameless
Once
of
a
your club.
decade of
Can
no
I just say
winning.
something?
I
Let me
don't
just say
care
this-
about
let me just say this
your
right now.
club.
It's
Let me
a
just say this
decade
right
of
now.
no
You are a
winning.
typical modern day Arsenal fan. You're a loser.
No, I'm not.
You're
I'm not a
loser.
modern day Arsenal
You are a
fan. I'm not.
loser.
I'm not.
You
A
are
I'm not.
decade of no winning.
You are
Listen, mate. We've
Spurs
won
before this
13 league
season.
titles. Have
You're
some respect.
A
in
decade of
talking
no
about
winning.
Arsenal.
Segregation.
About
winning.
modern day loser. Do you know who you're talking to? You're talking to the
You
third
won
biggest
A
club in England.
decade of
Have some
no
respect.
winning.
You're talking
That's
to the
what you
third
did.
biggest club in
You won
England.
them
We've won
because you
13 league
bribed your
titles.
way
We're bigger than you in every metric in football. You are our little brothers. Chelsea are Arsenal's little brothers. You will always be our little brothers.
Hussam, he wants 10 years of this trophy. He wants 10 years of this trophy.
On brown envelope.
He wants 10 years of this trophy, bro.
You know, Hussam, you know Roberto is very smart. You know Roberto is very smart.
10 years.
Hussam, Roberto is using a very common argument. He's now going to stick on the point. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. And you, that's fine. That's fine.
But the thing is, like, I could move on. But like, you legitimately said you want 10 years of winning. Like, how do you want me to move off that point? Like, you just said something so ridiculous, and you just want me to keep it pushing like nothing happened.
I said to Hussam, I'd rather finish second and challenge and not win than finish fourth. There's context behind it.
You said for the next 10 years you would rather do that. So you would rather just not win.
I'd rather challenge. I'd rather challenge than finish fourth for the next 10 years.
Or how about in a hypothetical, I'd rather just win. How about having a winning mentality? This is why Andrew said you have a loser mentality, bro. You can't just say
winning mentality about any trophy, all right? Like, I'm tired of that discussion.
But no. The thing is, no, you're right. Hold up. You're right. A winning mentality about any trophy. He legitimately said, I want 10 years of finishing second and challenging and no trophies.
Roberto,
I don't want to say about that. That's a loser mentality.
I don't know, Roberto, I don't know if you're understanding English or not. If there is a comparison between challenging for the trophy and not winning it and finishing fourth for the next 10 years and not even challenging for it, it's worse to finish fourth. So, of course, I'd rather that.
Only an Arsenal fan would have that mentality. No Chelsea fan would even put up that theoretical argument. Because it doesn't exist.
I don't care what you've got to say. We don't care about Chelsea. You guys are losers. You're playing.
We're losers. You don't win anything.
Hold up. Here, I got it.
Okay, guys. I'm gonna ask you one question. If you can answer it, I'll shut my mouth. Can you name me 5 Betis players?
Where is it? Right here. 1 second.
Lo Celso, Isco, Adrian. What was the other one? Rodriguez that came on next.
No. 5 players that started yesterday. 5 players that started.
You said 5.
There we go. He's naming squad players that used to play in Europe. There we go.
No. See, move the goalpost because you're.
And who did he play in the semi-final? Who did he play in the semi-final?
He's legitimately moving the goalpost. You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy though? He keeps bringing it back to the Conference League when we don't even mention. We're just talking about winning. Period.
Let me just say one thing. I'll be honest. I do think that Chelsea flexing Conference League is shameless.
Because we're not even flexing it. We're not flexing it.
Your players are singing, having a concert.
Players are celebrating winning a trophy. But when we're saying Chelsea, no, Hussam literally said Chelsea fans are being, bro. Me and Andrew.
Celebrated top 4. Good point. Very good point. They celebrated top 4. They were running around this. They were running around the pitch celebrating.
I have a question. How many players in our squad is this their first time in UCL?
Doesn't matter. They should have Chelsea heritage.
If they do it next year, then I'm gonna look at them different. If they do it next year, then I'm gonna look at them different.
I don't agree with him at all for anything that he said.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know why you agree. Like, this brother said, I'd rather go. He wants to go 10 years with this trophy. He wants to go 10 years for this trophy, bro. I don't know what to say. Like, what do you want me to argue with?
You spent 1 point. You spent 1 point. You spent over £1 billion.
You realize with my own eyes, I've never seen Arsenal lift a trophy, bro. Like with my own the Premier League trophy. I've never seen y'all lift a Prem with my own eyes in my lifetime.
We won the FA Cup.
I'm saying the Premier League trophy. I've never seen y'all lift the Prem in my lifetime, bro.
Roberto, thankfully, football didn't start when you were born. It started before that. So no one cares.
No, but you do realize, though, in the Prem era, right? In the Prem era, which is the most televised, which everybody watched, in my lifetime, I've not seen it, right? I don't have living memory. I don't have living memory.
Football didn't start when you were born. Just like Liverpool won how many titles did Liverpool win before you were born?
You're right. No, hold up. That's my point, though. You're right. However, time continues going into the future. How long are you going to be talking about what happened 20 years ago, brother?
I really do.
Can I make a point?
Go on.
No, but you know what, Andrew? You're right. Because if we're talking to a Spurs fan, we'd be talking to European champions.
The only one smiling here is Hussam because everyone else, this is a bum fight. We don't need to argue over who was the least most successful, historically, whatever.
Like I said, I don't gotta say nothing, man. Like I said,
go and play with Liam Delap and
that's why I'm smiling, Martin.
Yeah, but that's the only one that really
Here,
matters.
go enjoy
Like,
your
we
second
can
place
go
trophy,
and
man.
Argue about league
that's fine.
position.
And Liverpool are just sitting there smugly enjoying it because they're league
Yeah,
winners.
You want to know what's so funny about this? On a low key basis, I agree with Solz about one thing. I never want to be in the Conference League ever.
I don't want to be in it.
Honestly, I
only-
never. I yesterday I saw
Oh, you wrote
Adrian in a Conference League final. When I
He
saw
was crying.
Adrian,
It was crazy.
I just had so much PTSD just looking at his fucking face. Like, I just hate Adrian. I'll be honest with you. Like I really don't want to be in that competition like ever again. And I'm sure Chelsea fans who have seen themselves win 2 Champions Leagues and Prems
Yes.
don't want to do that either.
Yes,
You
no,
know?
that's it.
Trust me,
This is
on our
a
list-
one and
on our
done.
list
That's
of
it.
honours-
Like it has, you know, when West Ham win it, when Roma win it, like it's just now when
Yeah,
you're
but no,
looking at-
like if Forest
No,
win it and
watch
stuff,
this,
yeah,
watch this.
yeah,
When
yeah.
you're looking at like the winners list, it's like West Ham, Roma, Olympiacos. You know, it makes sense. Then Chelsea. It just, I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
It's a
I just-
European
too-
League Cup.
you're
We're
just
aware
too
of that.
big for this
If you build
competition.
a crap trophy, Chelsea will show up and try and win it.
Yeah,
Don't
they're
worry
just
about
too
it.
big for the
Right.
That's why you won the UCL twice.
Yeah,
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 true,
yeah,
true,
yeah.
true,
So
true.
Roberto, so why were you in the competition in the first place? Answer that question.
Because our squad completely fell apart, and we had to rebuild it, and Poch happened. That's
Okay,
that's
so
why.
hold
up, not only that, not only that, hold up, not only that,
United.
United finished out of the European spots and then won the FA Cup. That's
Yeah, they
also
won
why
the
we
FA
landed
Cup.
there.
That's what kicked Chelsea.
That's also why we landed there. Otherwise, we would have been in Europa.
Oh no, you would have been in the Champions League if you were good enough to finish in those places, but you were shit. After spending £1 billion, your club's in the mud.
And it's been 120 years of Arsenal and no UCL. What do you want me to say? Like, okay, cool. You guys had a 120-year head start and still no European.
I can't believe I've got Chelsea fans sitting there talking to me. I don't understand. You've been through like 50 managers. I don't understand. You have no loyalty
We've
to
been
the
through
club.
50 managers and 50 trophies. Y'all been 20 years and
You
no
guys also
Prem, no
went to-
UCL.
We've
What do you
got
want me
more
to say?
trophies than you, but we have more trophies than you. How does that make sense? We have more trophies than you as a club.
We have more
We're a
trophies,
bigger
bro.
club.
You
We are a
just-
bigger
hold up,
club.
Was it not you last week who said I don't care about the FA Cup?
We've got more league titles. So what about that?
And we have two. We have European heritage. You have
Okay,
nothing.
okay.
You have a cup that no longer exists. I don't even know
You
who
haven't
played
got
in that
English
cup.
heritage, so we
Sam,
don't need
the
to do
biggest
this.
trophies in the world-
Petty fight.
The biggest trophies in the world are for English teams playing in the Premier League is the Premier League and the UCL. Those are the two biggest.
And you
If
can't
you
talk about one
combine,
of
if you
them.
combine trophies for
And you
both
can
of
only
those,
talk
we
about
have
one of
more
them.
than-
And you can
We
talk
have
about
more
one of
than
them.
you. But
And
we
you
have
can talk
more
about
than
one
you.
of them.
Combine both
You
of
can
those
talk about
trophies.
one of them.
You
And you can
can't
talk
talk
about
We have
one
more
of
than
them.
you.
And you
Anyway,
can talk about-
I
you
do,
can talk about one of
I
them.
do
We've got
agree
most
that
FA Cups as well.
Arsenal have double-digit league titles. Like this is true. This is reality.
Come on.
Yeah, well done.
What's
They won-
in it?
they
No,
won-
no,
they
no,
won
no,
in-
no, no.
they
That's
won
fine.
most
That's
in
fine. But when they
segregation,
when they
Sam.
leave
They won most
England,
segregation.
they're not bigger than West
Yeah,
Ham.
in
That's
Europe,
fine.
they don't have a good legacy at all. They don't.
I agree.
They no, they have no
Spurs have got
legacy,
a
bro.
bigger legacy.
They're
This is
they're
breaking
behind
news.
West Ham.
Actually, I
Spurs
do
got
have
to.
breaking news. It looks like we're renewing Gabriel as well. So I think that's one of the things Bert has done that's gone under the radar is I think we've got Saka, Saliba, Gabriel, and these guys agreeing to a new deal. So we don't have to worry about the whole 1 year and they'll be off to Real Madrid for free thing.
Here's a question. Name me all those Arsenal players that won it during the segregation titles. Are you proud
God,
of that? Yeah,
that's
that's what you should be proud of.
Segregation.
Get the fuck.
I don't
out.
think you
Yeah.
guys want to go look at the 50 years without the league title that you guys had for.
We were meant
twice,
to
I
win
think.
them.
Exactly.
Hey, guys, listen. Let's
You don't want
listen.
to talk about that.
History, football matters from when it first started. Okay, we cannot change our energy. I'm the same guy that says this all the time, and I say it till today. There's a reason why Man United sing 20 times Man United. They won trophies in like 1904, bro. Now, let me just read the super chats, then we'll wrap up the stream. Big up to everyone locked in, guys. Let's just get to 400 likes. This went left at the end here. You get me? It was a solid conversation, and then I think the Conference League thing just rattled souls, and he just went on a tangent. You get me? Big up to everyone locked in. This is you get me? This was fun right here. Everyone, please hit the like button. Everyone, please subscribe to the channel. Let me just grab these supers, and then we're gonna wrap up the stream. Souls just went on a tangent there. I love it. Big up to my guy Red Indian who says kids shouting, champion smiling. I was smiling during that one segment.
I was smiling too, but I don't know.
I was just
I
smiling.
was smiling for a different reason.
Fight each other. Big up to Martin who says moving the mic closer to you and being louder does not make you right. You may be bigger in England, but nothing compared to us in Europe. Is what my guy Martin 29 is saying.
The camera froze because he thought he was talking about me, and then it refreshed. And
Yeah,
he realized
yeah,
that
I
Super
didn't
Chat was talking about
realize
him.
that.
And the
Yeah,
smile-
he's talking about you, Yahi. Why?
I was
he
about to agree
smiling-
with him.
He's smiling because he thought the super chat was about me, and then it got to the last part, and he realized it was about him, and then the
Yeah,
camera
yeah.
unfroze, and you can see
I
the
was-
smile went away.
Roberto, I was about to agree with him. I was about to say yes, and then I
No,
realized
I know.
towards the end.
I'm not gonna lie. Your camera was MVP for that moment. That was hilarious.
Big up to you, Barton. Bottom right, putting a Hamza. Hussam. He ain't gonna save you, pal. Listen, I will not save him, but I will say that, listen, I can't change my energy. I'll be honest. I do believe Arsenal are bigger than Chelsea because they have more trophies. My logic is consistent for every football club on the planet. Simple as. I think Chelsea, to overtake Arsenal, they need to win more trophies. That's it. And not fucking Conference League, like Prems, Champs, etc. Like that's what they need to do to overtake Arsenal. So same energy for everyone. I think Arsenal are the bigger club because they have more trophies. Same reason why we're bigger than Man United. Hold that, Man United, you are dead, mate. Big up to JC, who says, can take the fans out of Arsenal, but not the Arsenal out of the fan, is what JC is saying. Big up to you, JC. This is why Arsenal are where they are, is what Underbelly Color thing is saying. You get me? Big up to you. Appreciate you, my brother. Big up to who says Arteta sexuals are unbearable.
I hate that comment. I
don't think these guys are heterosexuals.
AMT is
apparently if you don't want Arteta out, you're heterosexual. So
oh right,
the world we live in.
AMT is just face palming. Thank you for the face palm super chat, brother. Big up to Dolce Man SW6. Arsenal wouldn't have even qualified for the Conference League the 2 years at 8th.
Tragic. We won the FA Cup and played Europa instead. Something like that.
I know. Bottled that.
Right there. This guy is more delusional than my own. When the dog is saying. Shout out to Win the Dog.
Wait, who's his own? Oh, Win the Dog. Sorry, yes.
Big up Win the Dog for winning the Women's Champions League.
Okay.
Oh my God, Win the Dog finally has something to celebrate. Shout out Win the Dog.
Yeah.
Win the Dog.
There's nothing that triggers people more than a picture of Win the Dog celebrating the Women's Champions League.
Yeah, leave the dog alone, bro. Leave the dog alone, bro. Leave the dog alone. Dog did nothing wrong.
Poor dog. It's got bad.
Why the fuck are we cooking? Why the fuck are we cooking that little dog, bro? Big up to Jojo says a change from being Spursy to being Arsey is what Jojo's saying. I'll be honest. If I'm an Arsenal fan and I'm a YouTuber, I'll be taking some time off. I will be taking
United-y or something because Man United are the real losers.
Oh, Man United are fucking shit.
No, they're just shit.
Yeah, they're dead. They're dead.
No one's got energy for them anymore. They're just tired of it.
The fans booed them after a preseason friendly.
That was a shit, man.
Yeah, it's just
you need to understand, United are currently on a world tour to try and find their level, and they failed.
And they're not even unbearable anymore. Even their fans have given up. This is the thing.
No, hold up. That's not true though, because just this very day, I went on YouTube and I saw like 4 to 5 streams talking about we have a free run at Osimhen and Gyokeres now. Unironically, I've seen those streams, so no. May the pain continue. The pain has to continue.
Oh yeah. Don't do the whole I feel bad. I don't feel bad.
No, I don't. No, it has to continue. No, it must. It must.
You remember what Ferguson did to your club and mine?
Yeah.
About cheating and shit? Have some shame. This is how I know Man United are dead, just quickly. This is Man United top bus in Malaysia. Imagine no one gives a fuck. How are you driving through a whole ass country with no one giving a flying fuck? Watch. No one cares.
And look at the players, and look at the players eating over.
It's just literally a random City fan following them. No one give a flying fuck. They're driving through a country. Imagine they say tomorrow Liverpool's coming to Malaysia. Streets full. They're like, hey, champions.
It'll look like it'll be a trophy parade, pretty much.
That's what it'll look like. A trophy parade. Bro,
can we get a top for this
literally driving through Malaysia and no one cares.
And what's funny, the players are leaning over on the railings to see who's there. Nobody's there.
It's the thing, right? They went over there for financial reasons, right? But it was only £8 million. It was only £8 million they went over there. It wasn't like 80 million. It was like £8 million.
Yeah, but they're broke.
And then they lost, bro. It's great, bro.
Can we not call him Sir Jim now that he bought that shit football club there? Yeah, he's just Jim now. Fuck you, Jim. You're not celebrating the Bridesmaid Cup, is what Dutchman is saying. He's not celebrating it. I do hear my point. He presented it wrong, but I don't want to be in Conference League either. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
He presented it in a bad way, but I agree. Overarching point. Hussam, we found our Wolfie. Nope, no one is as bad as Wolfie. I promise you. Wolfie is worse than Hamza.
He cannot admit when he's wrong, bro. He can't.
Shout out, Wolfie. Commiserations on not making the Champions League.
That guy, I got to say, that guy. I don't know how. I was on a stream during the week, a Newcastle channel stream. We had other teams on, but I thought Wolfie was going to get pressed from the start. There was a Brighton fan on there for some reason, but Wolfie managed to press this Brighton fan and the rest of us press this Brighton fan for 20 plus minutes. I don't know how he does it. He's press resistant, bro. He's slippery as.
And then I pressed him on the show Wednesday, and he just
Right. Yeah.
The best I saw from Wolfie was the other day when he asked LB what the stars in the Man City badge are for, and LB didn't know. I don't think they're actually Champions Leagues; they're just fake stars for decoration. So he does have his purposes. Like
to cook Man City.
And I mean, and Forest need the 2 stars, otherwise people will forget what they did. So.
Exactly.
This is true. This is true. You're such an asshole, Roberto.
Listen, hold up, listen. Shout out.
They'll
Listen,
always
shout
have
out.
Robin Hood,
No, listen,
right?
I'll tell you. Shout out history, but I'm not an enjoyer of silent films. You feel me? Like I tell this to my phone. My friend is Uruguayan, right? And he's like, "Oh, we won World Cups," and I'm like, "Cool. Did you ask the dinosaurs to tell you about it or what?" Because like, I hold the same energy for everybody. Listen, shout out history, but at some point we gotta live in the present.
Yeah, history is made to be written. But yeah, I do also believe in recency as well. But
Chelsea celebrated
mix,
so
it's a
what
mix.
does it affect your life?
it doesn't affect my life. I just think, look, I don't want I understand when you win a trophy, you need to celebrate. Man United was celebrating when Ten Hag won the League Cup. I saw Man United bloody celebrating. But what I just didn't understand was first they were celebrating getting top 4. They were just running around, dancing around. That was already shameless. And then they won the League Cup, and I'm seeing them literally doing a concert in their stadium or wherever the hell it was. And they're all singing to each other, celebrating, dancing, winning a 3rd-tier European competition. As UCL winners, you guys have won the actual main thing. I just think the more professional thing to do would be like, cool, we've had a disappointing season. Challenging for top 4, winning a 3rd-tier European competition is a disaster. Let's go again next season and let's be better.
It's not been a disappointing season, though.
It's
No,
not.
you know
So
what? No,
your
hold
standards.
up. For
As for Chelsea standards,
Souls,
you just spent
Souls,
£1 billion.
you specifically, I hope you enjoy this future year of Arteta. I need you specifically to sit there and enjoy it because I know exactly what's gonna happen, and I will be there, man.
I need this like better season than X team shit to like go away. Like this is the most retarded stuff I've seen in a long time. If you didn't win the Premier League or the Champions League, it was a bad season. You don't need to go and try and find some other team to flex on. Like every other team is going, okay, I've won something. What's Arsenal fans up to? Let's go talk about that.
Oh, Crystal Palace have had a better season. Tottenham have had a better season. The end of the day,
But brother, this is my whole point. Is you were, that was their first. But the thing is, hold up, brother, you're also shadow boxing ghosts. Because me and Andrew, we were not flexing the conference league. We weren't the fans celebrating. We did not ask you guys, did we have a better season? You were literally shadow boxing ghosts.
Oh, no,
the whole argument started because you started shadow boxing ghosts.
Roberto, if you listen back to the stream, before I started any of the run, I said, I'm not talking about you two. I'm talking about the Chelsea fans that said XYZ. Then I started in the run. And then you guys
but that's what I'm saying. You started the rant, but it wasn't me or Andrew that said anything.
I'm not still owe my mate £5 for that scooter. It's so embarrassing.
Oh, that was so funny.
Bro, Premier League,
never
and you
ends.
can't even
Please.
afford the scooter,
Please.
bro.
Oh, is that the Malaysian?
Oh, man. Oh, it's going to be so good.
Also, I love this guy. I'm not gonna read your name, but you keep pressing Terry, so I appreciate that because he's always like, every time there's a straight facts, he's always just like on Terry's neck, like Terry could breathe, and he's just there, like gegenpress. Big up, my brother. Appreciate you. Final super chat of the day. Big up to Becky, says big up for Sam Winter and the panel. Smash a like. Big up to you, Becky. Thank you so much. And listen, we are just 1 like away from 400 likes, so whoever hasn't smashed the like button, do smash it. This was one hell of a stream. You get me? It was an incredible stream. Towards the end there, this just went into a whole like argument and fight. You get me? But it is what it is. It's what these streams are about. I'm going to be putting up a Delap. Here we go. Pre-recorded video. There are 2 shorts coming out as well. We're going to talk about Delap on the short. And we're going to talk about Sesko to Arsenal. RSM TV is in the description. Casual FC is in the description. And Sad's Football Corner is in the description for these 2 lovely Arsenal fans. That's where you can find them. And I went and checked out who's live. Ahmed is live. You get me, Chelsea Ahmed. He's there talking about Delap and Ekitike. So we're going to redirect to him. So this stream is going to take over to Chelsea Ahmed. Just go tell him that Hussam raided. You get me? So big up to all of you guys. And watch out for all the content upcoming. And tomorrow there might be something. Do not. I'm not Fabrizio and I'm not his brother. I'm just saying tomorrow there might be a certain announcement. Inshallah, ya Rab. Inshallah. See you guys later, man. Peace out.